Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at some MEGACREWs from season 2 of Street Woman Fighter. Now I am wearing something different than what I was wearing in the reactions you are about to see. That is because I filmed all of them in one big reaction, but due to copyright, YouTube has blocked the content in full, so I have now had to split them up just so I can try to keep them on YouTube for as long as possible. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I will catch you guys in the reaction. Okay, LADYBOUNCE! Woo! Oh, wow. Oh, I love their choice with this here, with different color. Ooh. Okay.
What you gonna do? You gonna come closer?
Woo!
Get your confidence up.
Oh, I wish it wasn't zoomed in. I want to see all of it the whole time. That was fun. I was saying, although, I feel like they're repeating a lot of not dynamics, but they're repeating a lot of things, like a lot of rebounds of movements, and I feel like it feels a little safe, not gonna lie. I like the intensity. I don't feel like the song matches the costumes for me personally. I like the song though, like don't get me wrong, I like the song, it's fun, it just it's not matching their costume, so I wish they made a different costume choice if they were gonna go with this kind of mashup. Wow. Yeah, I would say they're running into a problem where there's a difference between simplicity because of numbers, but also it's like,
we only got tonight. What you gonna do?
You gotta be mindful that you're in a competition, and density of content I feel like should matter just as much as your creativity and your visuals. Like, make it mad impressive and undisputed. I like the use of the prop, that's fun. Like, this is fun. I like this section a lot more. I like the first section and this one more than the second one. The second one's a bit disconnected from a lot of the other stuff that they're setting. Yeah. This was fun. I love that. I would say the timing's a little bit off. I love the choices they made there. That was fun. It's a little bit off in the formation, and then they got it back together. That was fun. Hey, hey, hey. Hey. Okay. Okay. Really nice representation from LADYBOUNCE. If I were to give a crew the most visually diverse in concept, I'd give it a LADYBOUNCE. So from their crew preview, was so different than how they approached their crew battle, so different than this, which was so different than their K-pop, right? And so I think it's really cool to see them be diverse in how they are, how they distinguish themselves. Like, it's really cool. Like, I can't pinpoint one specific kind of vibe from them, which is very impressive. So we're gonna take a look. I love these little, like, we're entering the chat kind of stuff. I love that. They run off. That was really fun. It's kind of like when your game is loading, like a video game, and they show you like a character preview of how your character behaves right before a fight happens in a video game. That's what it reminds me of, and I'm always such a fan of that. Okay, taking a look here. I love the start of this here. Like, the meeting, I love the framing. It's cool. That right there, like, I kind of wish that they did a little bit more than what they just did, right? Or, like, they did the head too many times, right? I feel like they could have done, like, one person peeled it out, peeled it out, versus everybody doing the same thing, because that's not the context, right? So sometimes you want to do something that's super grimy and simple, but this felt like we're eating up time with one move, you know? I think that's my big note. Just off the bat, they could have done so much more. Like, honestly, everybody starting at the same level and then dropping down. Like, there could have been a polyrhythmic visual taking place. So if you don't know what polyrhythm is, it's 2 or more rhythms that happen at the same time that are different. So I'm using it in the context of formation or dynamics. So dynamics like levels. So notice that you have people that are on the lower forefront, and you have people that are on the midline. And notice that their pants and they're wearing different type of armor than my other people, and they're kind of up, right? So it's really nice, and it's diagonal as well, which creates this kind of arrowhead, which is cool. It's like battle, and I know that we see that kind of, like, they have really sharp formations, which helps justify the usage of the pride in their costumes. But I really feel like they could have done something else while doing the head instead of just staying in that formation, personally. That was nice with them peeling out in the boom, you know, and having everybody slow it down. Like, that was nice to do. Like, it was cool to see that here, but I feel like we wasted 10 seconds to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So that's my big note for this. Like, this is fun. Just the usage of the arms, like they're switching between the arm swings and then the twinkling of the fingers and then the usage of the wrist and then the head. So that was really nice that they're making great choices. But even then, when you're looking at, now there's a good chance that you're dealing with multiple camera angles, multiple shoots or multiple takes of this routine. So I'm not going to assume that this was done live. This was probably an in-shoot kind of thing. And then they re-performed it. Maybe, you know, but even here, like, I feel like when you're doing movement, I've already said this already, if you're doing movement, but you're not doing anything else besides that movement and you're just in a formation, you're really wasting time if you only have a set amount of time and a set amount of stuff to justify, right? So for this, I really feel that they could have done a much better job of using their formations or the numbers to their advantage, you know? Yeah, it just feels very simple in, like, when they're bleeding with their time, they're taking up too much time for everything, not just one or two things. It feels like even here, when she turns, this took way, that right there just took way too much time. Like, 2 counts would have been enough, but she did 4, you know, but that peeling into it was really nice, but even that peel out, the peel out was a cool choice, but and the peel out that I'm talking about is there's 2 peel outs happening where you have an add-on happening here between these ladies in LADYBOUNCE, and then my peel out where people are kind of going to various parts of the room, which are cool too. But so that was a nice choice. But also note though, like, it's very, I know I may have caught it. Let me see if I think I caught it in like a mid-transition. Okay, I cut when I didn't want it to. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, so this formation, this peel out, you know, that was creative. Okay, I'm pausing you right before I switch this camera. This formation does not make sense. Okay, so I've already, at this point, I've already watched Wolflow, right? And everything that Wolflow did, every transition, every peel out, ended up somewhere where it made sense. And that's a really big thing when you deal with a lot of people. And whenever they were chaotic, it was still organized, and I touched on that. But just kind of notice the sporadicness here. There's this huge gap that is, we're missing people, right? And I feel like it's either you needed to have them fill this in, or you needed to have it more even in distribution. So we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With like 6 guys chilling back here. And then you have your 5 right here. And look, it's just not symmetrical. You have like this weird clump of people here and like 4 spaced out. You only have 2 people spaced out over here and then all this clump back here. So all in all, it's just not, it's not visually pleasing. It looks messy. Like this looks messy and it's hard for me to know where they want me to look, you know? And so that's a really important thing. That was nice. I like the transition here, which was good. And I love that shift. And the setup here was nice, but also, like I said, I want to see, if I'm looking at a MEGACREW, I like seeing what everybody's doing at all times. I love seeing the full stage the whole time so I don't miss anything. Because there could be another visual or something happening outside of what I'm seeing right now that could really enhance this part. And so I feel like I'm not able to really treat this as fairly as I could because I'm not seeing everything. You know what I mean? But also, I'm taking what I can get to. So I'm not going to negate that either. Now, I already said this, I'm going to say it again. This song transition does not make sense. For their costume, it does not make sense. I would assume they're trying to show off and showcase their various styles that they bring to the table. I honestly didn't see much of voguing in here, and I kind of wish that we got to, right? So I feel like Betsy, if she is a voguer, then I wish I would have seen some aesthetic of that. You know, there's not a single part where I was like, ooh, that's Betsy, right? And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I catch it here. But like this, you can do some breaking on this beat. Really, for real. It's that. Yeah, I just feel like there's some transitions where they're kind of attacking or they're showcasing themselves, right? This was a nice movement where you have your people in the middle. I know I paused it kind of when they were done, but you have like your people here in the middle. And then you had my members kind of framing outside. And then you have other people using their hands to really create more levels and variety here. But also, like, that was a nice peel out and add on too, but, you know, it's nice to see this too, but also I'm missing two other groups that are probably doing this as well, which that was a really nice moment that they had with the twisting around. That was fun. I know that's some locking right there. They're trying to be innovative in how they're locking on the beat, because this is not a locking beat at all. But then I also see it kind of integrated not into locking. It was just like one little locking move, and then it went into more like an afro pocket for a second. I don't know if that was the intention or just how it looks, but like this right here, we ended up seeing something similar to that at the end of their set that we saw. So for me, don't repeat movement at all unless it is intentional. For me, it doesn't feel intentional. It feels like, oh, this is what we can do to it because it looks loud, it looks big. They just changed the hand, but that's the same thing that they did at the end. For me, I'm like, ding, 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 be careful, don't repeat. Like, that was fun. Like, I love how open she is. I really do. Like, she really uses her chest well. Yeah, but I feel like even here, a lot of these movements that they're doing, there's no groove. Right? It just feels like they're just doing movement loud with their back, but they're not using their core and they're not using their chest at all. You know, it just looks like movement. And I always prefer out of the two, authenticity and proper carriage over just movement any day of the week. And I know a lot of you would agree. So I feel like this little section, just in general, it just looks like content to fill up time.
We only got tonight.
We only got tonight. And even that setup there where you just have them doing this, you could have done so much more than them just staying in one spot. Because also, let me tell you this, the more you have somebody repeat something, the easier it is going to be for them to make a mistake. Because when you drill stuff, you're going to go through a phase where you're really conscious of it, and then you start to get unconscious of what you're doing, and then you start making mistakes, and then you have to go back into it. So whenever you repeat choreo over and over and over again, you have to reset whatever muscle group or whatever muscle that you're engaging. And being able to do that, like being able to do a pop's one thing. Being able to do 8 pops in a row is something very different. So when you're thinking about the chest, when you're doing 8 of them, you have to make them look just as powerful. And so the more you repeat something, like I said, the harder it is to make it look just as consistent as it did the time before. And when you have so many people doing that and nothing else for me to distract by, it's way easier for me to find a mistake, in which I saw a couple people not really push their chest out as much as they should have around the 4th or the 5th in comparison to the 1st and the 2nd. And they also did a close-up of her here, which, I mean, she looks fabulous. She looks so intimidating in her face, and I love the ring at the top with her hair. But also I want to see what everyone is doing, you know? Like, how did they get their props? Like, I wanted to learn how they did that. Like, I like that simple prop usage there. It frames really well in the columns. But I also feel like she's not doing a lot either. She's not really controlling them. She's just a presence and then moves up a little bit, is a presence and then moves up a little bit. You know, she may look like a commander or a leader, but look, like this formation, that formation is off. Look here, ready? So I'm going to show you. When you come up, this is fine. They walk through. Oh, that's not good. I would have reshot that. Well, also, I don't know if they have the permission to. But look at this. These guys are so off here, right? It's not, they should have had either this guy move up to be in this pocket, or if he's my point, then he should have moved up. Like, this is not clean in comparison to what I've already seen. I've already seen one before this one. And just looking here, like, it's just, I see what they're trying to make, but that's not the point. To say, I'm assuming she's my point, and they should have done a better job of making that actually work. Like, that's fun, but also it's just, it's content. They're doing too many close-ups for a MEGACREW challenge, in my opinion. I like this, but also, like, that peel out was really nice. So they did something where they started in the front and then they peeled it back to the back. So that was really nice into this position in particular. It's really tricky to get people to do well. And then they switched it to mirror. But also, I will say this too, like, just little things, like, you have some people already finished, like, they're already peeled up, and some of them are still locked into their position. So that's just my note. That affects your cleanliness. If you have some people who are creating this pocket right here, but you have some of them that are either over curving, or they're struggling to even hold the position, or they're just not even holding it at all, and their upper body is a little too protruded over, that affects cleanliness in your crew. And also, I have no idea what's going on back here. I don't know if I just caught it at a weird time or what. I did. So it was like they were like right in the middle of about to get to their spot. Yeah, so I like how they're marching forward and you have my people framing on the outside, so that's nice. Yeah. I love this little slow, and then they go faster, and then they create these abstract complex positions. Like, I love that. Like, that was super cool. Yeah, was it as clean as it needed to be? No, but it was still really cool. I saw enough. Like, I got to see exactly what I needed to see there. Hey. But also, like, they've already repeated the move 3 times. They should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, they should have changed the hand or changed one thing to make it more better. And I also look here, like, this formation looks a lot nicer, you know, but even then, though, my grouping over here is still a little too far out on the right side for it to be truly clean. And it looks like a spearhead, which is really nice. It matches their outfits, the attire that they're trying to go for, you know, but also they did that move too many times for my taste. I love that. Welcome to the party. That was fun. Yeah, and I love the add-on here, but they said they did the same groove. You know, and the formation, they did change. It went from being more column-like to a more V. So, like, notice that they were kind of, like, more chilling here, but then they took it and they moved it out to the side a little bit more. So, I like that choice. It's subtle, but also their movement is too subtle for that kind of formation shift to be, like, enough to carry for the section. Yeah, so I like, you know, they're all pulling down, so it's framing back to the beginning, not in a way where it's like overly repetitive, but actually kind of framing the routine as a whole to make it go back to what they did in the beginning. You know, you have your people in the very back, and then they finish, you know? So, I mean, they did a pretty good job, I will say. I don't have like too many complaints about it. I mean, it's a MEGACREW, and there's a lot of people that you're having to coordinate with, so I'm always impressed whenever people are able to really come together and they're able to create something like this. It's truly magical. Do I think that this is going to be one of the strongest ones? No, I don't believe so, because I was able to find so many holes so early while I was watching the initial reaction. I didn't even have to go back to know some of these holes or weaknesses they were showing. So that's my big note for them. But I mean, overall, their movement quality is pretty good. So Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way. I've been really enjoying the Street Woman Fighter Season 2 series, and I've always been enjoying the discussions that we've been having. If you want more Street Woman Fighter content, you can take a look throughout this channel. Not only that, I do have exclusive content, aka blocked content, that may not ever show up here on Patreon for you to take a look at as well. If there's something that's missing here that you feel that maybe you've already taken a look at, that's a great place to look and invest. But my goal is to try to get as much content on YouTube as possible, just so anybody and everybody can be able to just be a part of the discussions and being part of everything alongside me. So I've been really, like I've said, I've really enjoyed just the time I've been spending with everybody here, and whether it's here on YouTube or it's on Patreon, both are awesome, and I can't wait for the discussions. I will check y'all later.